Hi everyone, welcome to our channel. We are from Group 4, consisting of me, Listiana Uswatun Hasanah, and my friend Naila Shakira Fadila want to talk about fun English learning strategy for early childhoods. First of all, there is abstract. Early childhood have a sensitive period to learn something, especially learn English. As an English teacher, it is very important to know learning strategy in order to make learning environment more pleasant. That is why the teachers who teach English for young children need some strategies in teaching and learning. There are some strategies that can be applied such as TPR, total physical response, songs, music, movement, and stories. Let's talk about the first one is introduction. Children have the ability to think that it is still fresh. In early childhood, they experience a period called the golden age, which is sensitive to external stimulation. Suyanto says that during the golden age, children experience very rapid growth and development and are irreplaceable in the future. Children also learn lessons from interesting experiences. They are happy with a game that is fun. As stated in Hamid's book, playing in a pleasant atmosphere is a very important factor in education. For this reason, designing fun learning strategies for early childhood is a mandatory task for teachers who lead early childhood learning. On the other hand, learning strategies require the creativity of teachers to manage all learning preparations in order to achieve teaching and learning objectives that encourage student motivation to be passionate about the lessons given. The second one is literature review. Learning planning. Learning planning is an effort in the teaching and learning process that is thought out and determined in a subsequent lesson so that it can lead to a good interaction and students can gain the knowledge being taught. Bravo and Normalia's application of planning activities in learning activities is an attempt to determine the various activities to be carried out in relation to efforts to achieve the objectives of the learning process. Early childhood English and cognitive development. Other research that state the benefits of mastering a foreign language earlier, as stated by Mustafa, that children who master a foreign language have advantage in terms of flexible intellectual, academic, language, and social skills. In addition, children will have the readiness to enter a social context with the various language and cultures so that when they grow up, they will become quality human research and can excel. Mustafa added that children's understanding and appreciation of their own language and culture will also develop if they learn a foreign language from an early age. Cognitive development describes how a child's mind develops and functions so that it can think. Kate states that cognitive development is a mental process that includes understanding the world, discovering knowledge, making comparisons, thinking, and understanding. The mental process in question is the process of processing information that includes cognition, intelligence, learning, problem solving, and concept formation. It also extends to creativity, imagination, and memory. Fun English learning strategies for early childhood. The first one is TPR method, total physical response method. According to Richards, TPR is defined as a language teaching method built around the coordination of speech and action. It attempts to teach language through physical activity. So the TPR method is a language learning method that is structured around the coordination of commands, speech, and motion and tries to teach language through physical activity. The method developed by James Asher is appropriate for teaching English to young children where direct activities related to physical activity and movement are prioritized. In this GPR method, Asher said that the more frequently or more intensively a person's memory is stimulated, the stronger the memory association are and the easier it is to remember. This remembering activity is done verbally and with motor activity. Asher also concluded that the role of emotional factors is very effective in children's language learning, which means learning language by involving games with moves that can be combined with singing or telling stories will reduce the pressure of one's language learning. The second one is teaching English by using song. Learning English through songs is a method of teaching English through the medium of singing or songs. The success of learning English in early childhood is strongly influenced by a teacher's ability to present an interesting and fun process of teaching and learning activities for children. In line with the existence of a child who likes to sing and move, motion and song are a very appropriate approach if used as a means of presenting the process of learning English in early childhood. Singing for children is essentially, the first one is emotional language, where with singing, children can express their feelings such as pleasure, humor, admiration, and emotion. The next is tongue language, because singing can be heard, sung, and communicated. The last is motion language. The movement in singing is reflected in the bar, regular movement, in rhythm, long, short, irregular movement, and in the melody, high-low movement.
Teaching English by using song. The advantage of teaching English using singing. First, through songs, it will motivate children to be happier learning English. Second, by singing, children become happier and better able to understand by teaching material presented. And last, children are made happy, not bored, and interested in participating in the learning process. Teaching English by using games. Widi Putra 2004 explained that in learning English, there are many methods or techniques that can be used, including through the first is storytelling, the second is role play, the third is arts and craft, and fourth is games, 5 show and tell, and last is music and movement, or motion and song, which includes singing or songs. Advantage of using games in learning. The first is submission of subject matter can be uniform. By using game media in learning activities, there will be uniform interpretation of subject teachers on the subject to be taught delivered to students. The second is the learning process become more interesting. Game media consists of visual elements can be seen, audio can be heard, and motion can interact. So this game media can arouse curiosity students, stimulate their reaction to the teacher's explanation. The third is the student learning process become more interactive. There is element of artificial intelligence in the media game. There will be two-way communication where questions appear randomly on a computer screen and students answer the question. The fourth is the amount of teaching and learning time can be reduced. With game media, the teacher doesn't need to spend a lot of time on its explained material. With game media, students can train themselves in different ways, interact with game media regarding a material they want to learn. The fifth is the quality of student learning can be improved. Game media can help students absorb the subject matter more deeply and intact. This is because game media is more interesting because there are visual and audio elements, but also interactive, which allows students to interact with game programs about the subject. An example is a quiz game. The sixth is the learning process can occur anywhere and anytime. Technological development are increasingly rapid, enabling students today to be able to have a laptop at low price. This device has the advantage of being able to take anywhere and can be used anytime. Is the positive attitude of students towards the subject matter and the learning process itself can be improved. With media, the teaching and learning process become more interesting. This can increase students' love and appreciation of science and process the search for knowledge itself. And the last is the role of the teacher can change in a more positive and productive direction. First, teachers do not need to repeat their explanation if media used in learning. And the second, by reducing verbal or oral description. Teaching English by using stories. Learning English can be done in various ways. One of them is by reading short stories in English. Implementation steps learning English by telling stories is as follows. The first is prepare media. Props and, if necessary, a teacher must memorize the story first. The second is create an atmosphere that is fun, comfortable, and makes children curious with the story that we will read. The third is before telling stories, make an agreement with the child. Don't ask before mom finishes the story. If there are children of mother who want to ask, please postpone first yes. And last is so read the story with enthusiasm and as interesting as possible. After finish reading the story, ask the child to repeat what we told. Then, if anyone asks, are welcome. Conclusion. Early childhood is a vulnerable time. All kinds of aspects of language can be introduced to them before this period ends. Therefore, teachers must try to do their best to take advantage of early childhood by providing strategies that can boost enthusiasm and motivation with what is given, especially for teaching English. As it is known, children like things that are fun. As a result, learning English can be integrated into fun early childhood learning strategies such as TPR, Total Physical Response Method, stories, and songs, making it easier for them to enjoy learning English. That's our explanation about fun English learning strategy for early childhood. Thank you for watching and see you in our next video. Bye!